Preacher punched, how students and local pastors are reacting. And trouble for TikTok, what they're saying on Capitol Hill. Plus, cloudy conditions could clear up. The OU Nightly weather team tells us when. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Morgan Martin.
And I'm Purpura. Tonight we begin with the story that's been buzzing on campus and across social media. Whether you want to call him a preacher or a protester, he's got students' attention.
OU Nightly's Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche is live with the story of how one student threw a punch. Dacoda?
Yeah, students circled this fence today after a preacher gave a good message to some and a bad vibe to others.
So no, I don't hate any of you.
No, yeah, you do.
Not even the guy who punched me in the face yesterday. Don't hate.
Daniel Lee, a self-proclaimed preacher, says he hopes
The students will get right with God.
he's spreading what he says is God's word to OU students, and on Thursday, one student gave him something he hadn't had in a while.
Hey, you can't do that.
Don't touch me. Don't.
You can't.
Don't touch me, boy.
It's something that hadn't happened to him since 1999, and he's been to 54 campuses since August.
Yeah, run away, coward. Why don't you stay? I believe I've been obedient to God in doing what he's told me to do.
OUPD gave this statement about Thursday's altercation. They added that neither the preacher and student filed criminal charges and said OUPD could not charge neither because the misdemeanor was not committed in the presence of an officer. Lee says the way the officers treated this situation is just wrong.
I do think the police didn't really do their job yesterday. They told me that I was wrong to hit the megaphone out of my face, that was considered assault. Said the police were lazy, they didn't do their job. They should have pressed charges against him without threatening to press charges against me. So I do disagree with what the police did yesterday, but...
And because of Thursday's punch heard around campus, fences protect Lee from students and vice versa. These fences were placed Friday around 1 p.m. And at the end of the day, Lee says,
But I haven't been punched like that since for a long time.
yeah, the preacher is leaving Oklahoma, going across the Red River into all the universities and colleges in Texas. In Norman, Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Dacoda. Morgan, did it seem this chilly yesterday?
It definitely did not, but today feels significantly cooler. OU Nightly meteorologist Peyton Galyean is joining us live with the first look at the forecast. Peyton?
Yeah, that's right. Walking outside, you're still bundling up with that jacket because we are 7 degrees colder in Norman this time yesterday when that front started to come through. You can see in western Oklahoma, temperatures are starting to warm up, but in eastern Oklahoma, where they still have that cloud coverage, you can see 24 degrees colder. It's almost like a different season going on in that part of the state. Right now, temperatures in the 40s here in Norman, 49 and 49 here in Norman and Oklahoma City. Eastern Oklahoma, those 50s, but out west, those 70s. So coming up, I'm going to talk about when this rain fizzles out, how it's feeling like spring, and the next weather maker on the way.
Thanks, Peyton. New today, body cam footage released by Oklahoma City Police shows Broken Arrow lawmaker Dean Davis being arrested. Police arrested the House of Representatives member after a complaint for public drunkenness. Davis publicly apologized yesterday in the House for taking attention away from, quote, important issues being discussed. Davis was previously arrested for a DUI in 2019. He pled no contest. Thanks to our partners at News 9 for this video.
If you're looking for a four-legged addition to your family, mark your calendars for this Saturday. Carly Vargas tells us how you can adopt your forever friend.
Since Christmas, shelters have seen a significant increase in animals being surrendered, with people not wanting their pets anymore.
We are at max capacity. We've stayed at max capacity for about 11 of the last 12 months. So that's why we do events like this, so that we can get dogs adopted and make room for incoming dogs, and the dogs are still steadily coming into the shelter.
The Norman Animal Shelter is hoping to get some dogs to their new family.
so tomorrow night from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. we're having a adoption event. It's going to be at the Norman Twilight Market.
At the event, they are going to have all pet and family-friendly dogs, and all of the adoption fees will be waived in hopes of making room for new dogs. Carly Vargas, OU Nightly.
The event is at the Cleveland County Wellness Center this Saturday. Norman Animal Welfare is offering a free workshop from 2 to 4 p.m. for those who want to learn more about how to foster new puppies and kittens.
The fate of a popular social media site is uncertain.
Find out why lawmakers may restrict the app.
And the future of OU spent a day on campus.
Hear about one prospective student's experience after the break. We've just received breaking news of a burglary near the Advanced National Weather Center campus. OUPD says when the buildings opened this morning, several items had been removed from both buildings, located at 3190 Monitor Avenue. This is an ongoing investigation, and we will keep you informed as we know more.
President Biden in a show of strength authorizing an airstrike today. Victoria Anderson has that and the rest of today's international headlines from the News Center.
The U.S. military reports they launched an airstrike against Syria today in retaliation. This after an Iranian drone strike Thursday killed one American contractor and injured 5 troops. Officials say that this is a developing situation, with Syria launching yet another attack on a U.S. base this morning. The White House says there were no U.S. casualties. On the same day Oklahoma legislation passed the Don't Say Gay bill, Ugandan lawmakers passed one of the harshest anti-LGBTQ legislations in the world. The bill would make offenses related to same-sex relations punishable with up to 20 years in prison and even death. The bill now heads to the president's desk, and he has expressed support for the bill in the past. And millions of TikTok users are bracing for the app's ban as Congress puts more pressure on its Chinese ownership. U.S. lawmakers say they're concerned about data sharing with China, but TikTok CEO claims the app collects the same amount of data as other social media apps. Lawmakers want a nationwide ban, though experts point to a more middle ground solution. And in the midst of these ongoing hearings, France has banned TikTok on all government devices today. They plan to also ban other social media, streaming, dating, and gaming apps, including Candy Crush. Pepper, Morgan.
Thanks, Victoria. High school students from around the country came to OU today for Admitted Students Day. Activities across campus included housing and campus tours, an up-close look at academic colleges, and lunch served at couch restaurants. Today gave students who are still unsure of their college decision a chance to see what it's like to call the Norman campus their home.
I toured here, there was like all the flowers and stuff, and I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with the campus, and I made my decision to come to OU.
The events continue into the weekend with Greek Preview Day tomorrow for social, housed, and interest-based fraternities and sororities.
For some people, getting their hair done is like seeing a therapist, and one barbershop is taking that to the next level.
Hear how the shop is teaching people about mental health when we come back.
And now that the rain is moving out, so are the chances for severe weather.
Peyton, where will those rain chances be headed?
Well, right now it looks like that sun is trying to peek out just a little on the south oval, but don't let your guard down yet. I'll track out storms tonight after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Taking a look on the South Oval right now. There was a lot of people around here earlier today with new student admitted day. So right now 50 degrees, cloudy skies, but that wind is very light. We saw gusty winds last night with that severe weather threat. Taking a look across the metro, we can see 40s and 50s, but out west where it's a lot warmer with less cloud coverage, temperatures are in the 60s. In the rest of the state, you can pretty much see where there's clouds staying across the eastern portions of the state and here in central portions of the state, but where there's no cloud coverage, they have extremely warm temperatures, feeling a lot like spring. So you can see that cloud coverage is starting to move out, but you can see storms are still in parts of Arkansas, and they do have a severe weather threat going along, and that is the same line of storms we saw last night. So you can continue to see that they are still making their way through. So we have a tornado watch that has now moved out of the state of Oklahoma. Nothing really to worry about. We can see scattered showers starting to pop up across parts of the area, but just taking a look at how much rain we picked up, over 3 inches, and even isolated heavier amounts in eastern Oklahoma by Tulsa, over 1 inch here in Norman, and almost 1 inch in Oklahoma City. So as that line makes its way out, you can see that severe weather threat in the southeastern portions of the lower 48, affecting parts like Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and going throughout the rest of your night. Like I said, those pop-up showers, you can't rule them out of your forecast. They're going to continue to make their way through Oklahoma City, but by your Saturday morning, they're out of here. There's nothing you need to worry about for your Saturday, and it's going to be a great night to take your furry friend out on a walk. You can see temperatures are going to be in the 50s pretty much all night. Wind is going to be trying to reach near the 10 miles an hour mark, but it's not going to quite get there. And taking a look at the next big picture, we're going to cool down a lot the next few days, and it's just going to be up and down before that next rainmaker makes its way into Oklahoma for next Thursday. So this is a forecast. It can and will change. Don't let this be the last forecast you see for next Thursday. It includes parts like Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, pretty much the same bullseye we dealt with yesterday and the Thursday before. So enjoy your weekend. 65 Saturday and Sunday, 60s and dropping back into the 50s before those rain chances return for next week. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Peyton. A mobile barber shop is creating change for teens in Nebraska, one haircut at a time.
Visionary Youth is providing counseling and mentorship all in one.
The barbers are trained on things like trauma and suicide prevention.
After spending 45 minutes with each child, a licensed mental health professional then spends time with the group. Thanks for joining us on OU Nightly, and stick around because Big Friday Sports is next. If you can't wait for football season, you may not have to.
Addison, I hear it's almost time for the spring game.
That's right. We reintroduce you to a familiar face on the football field, and you won't want to miss our exclusive interview with a former Sooner turned Major League pitcher. Sports is next.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. I'm Brigg Bates.
And I'm Addison Arthur. The weather is heating up, and so is the sports world. So let's get right into all the action. We are only 30 days away from the OU spring game, and we saw some new faces on the practice field, including 2 5-star high school teammates, Jackson Arnold and Peyton Bowen.
Sooner fans will have to get to know those new faces, but they will remember a familiar face in number 81, Austin Stogner, who transferred back to OU after spending a year at South Carolina. Here's QB Dylan Gabriel on his relationship with the Sooner tight end.
It's weird because I feel like I've heard so much about him when he was gone, but then also when he came back, just crazy how it really clicked from day one. I know it sounds pretty cliche, but he's just a really good dude, and it was not new to him when he came back, so everyone knew him, and then he just really meshed really well. So he's a talented guy, got the right mindset, and obviously you can just see his attitude and how grateful he is for his opportunity. So.
Oklahoma softball opens up Big 12 play in Ames, Iowa with a doubleheader. The Sooners' first game is happening right now, and the next matchup is Saturday at 1 p.m.
Head coach Patty Gasso talked earlier this week about Jada Coleman and the value she brings to the team.
Focus, maturity, and we've talked about this. I mean, she's just made differently. She is, to me, an elite athlete. I believe you could put her in any sport, in any position, and she will be one of the best. She'll excel. So she is made that way, and she loves competition. She loves competition in anything. And I think that's what drives her.
Baseball season is here, and the Sooners will continue conference play this weekend on the road. Let's pitch it over to our very own Kenzie Iserman for all things OU baseball.
That's right, Addison, Brigg. The Sooners are hitting the road again. OU has won 11 of their last 15 games. They have a 3-game series this weekend facing the Kansas State Wildcats. First pitch of Game 1 of the series is tonight at 6 p.m. Jumping up to the majors in spring training, I had the opportunity to go to Arizona, sit down and talk with former Sooner and current Texas Ranger pitcher John Gray. Here's my exclusive conversation with the native Oklahoman.
Baseball is what John Gray is a legend here at the University of Oklahoma for. Being an Oklahoma native, Gray says his dreams met reality when he became a Sooner, but not in the way he imagined.
I always thought, growing up I was a big Oklahoma football fan, so I always wanted to play football there, but, through high school I found out baseball was a better option, and it worked out just fine though. I still got to be a Sooner, so it was a lot of fun.
From there, big adjustments happened for Gray in 2013. He was the third pick in the first round of the MLB draft, saying goodbye to Oklahoma and hello to the Rocky Mountains and Colorado.
It's different. It's different. And one thing I remember is not being able to find sweet tea anywhere. So I was kind of ticked about that. I couldn't find sweet tea that tasted right. But yeah, it was definitely a switch up. I feel like Oklahoma is it's a one of a kind place. It's not much like it. Texas is pretty similar, and I love that. It made me realize that you can also have a good place and may not feel like home, but it can become a home for you. And I feel like Colorado did become a home.
The Rockies Coors Field is historically known to be one of the hardest places to pitch because of its location. But John Gray took that as a challenge.
The thing that's always made me the most proud was probably pitching well at Coors Field. It's always been a place that's been, the guys haven't done well in a certain area. But I felt like I kind of embraced that, and I took it personal in a way, but when I did well at Coors Field, it felt so much better than just a regular good ball game.
Last year, Gray was traded closer to home and now pitches for the Texas Rangers. He says he's happy to be in Texas, but even more excited to find sweet tea again.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the team, but also just being back in Texas is going to be fun. Excited to be back there. Like I said, it feels a lot like home. I can find sweet tea, all my favorite things there. So I'm not complaining.
Kenzie Iserman, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kenzie. The Sooners men's basketball team is losing yet another player to the transfer portal.
Forward Joe Bamistil announced he is transferring after one season with the Sooners. Bamistil averaged 4 points a game for the Sooners, and this is the fourth Oklahoma player to enter the portal. Up next, OU Nightly's Ben Dackiw has an exclusive look at the OU men's hockey team.
And we'll break down the rematch between the Thunder and the Clippers. Stick around.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. And spring means up to par. Temperatures are back, and the OU women's golf team is hitting those greens at the Clemson Invitational in Sunset, South Carolina. The field is stacked with 16 teams, a lot of which are ranked. Temperatures today for play in the 80s, and again in the 80s tomorrow and on Sunday. But tomorrow, that team is going to have to deal with some rainy conditions in the morning and afternoon. Definitely players need to take advantage of lift, clean in place, cleaning their golf ball, because the little tiny water droplets can have effect on that play. Wind is also a huge factor. Winds up to 20 miles an hour and gusts even higher. A wind advisory has been issued for that area where the course is located. So again, your ball needs to be lower in the sky so you get that distance you really want and don't lose control of your ball. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Peyton. The Sooners women's golf team teed off this morning for the Clemson Invitational in Sunset, Carolina. The Sooners finished 7th at the Florida State matchup last weekend, and the Sooners will face 16 teams today, including in-state rival Oklahoma State.
The number 21 Oklahoma women's tennis team is in sunny California right now, taking on the 5th-ranked Pepperdine Waves. The Sooners have won their last 4 matches, but are 1-4 in away games and 11-0 at home. OU plays again on Saturday against San Diego at 2 p.m.
Football, softball, basketball, and gymnastics are sports OU is known for, but the university also has a club hockey team. OU Nightly's Ben Dackiw took the ice to talk to OU hockey.
Playing college club hockey doesn't come with many benefits, so how do these coaches get players to come to their programs? Well, OU hockey head coach Peter Arvanidis has a pretty simple outlook on recruiting. He lets his university's name do the talking.
I think first and foremost, you got to be able to have a university that has a good background. And obviously the University of Oklahoma has that. It's got a strong alumni. But at the same time, the kids also come here to play competitive hockey. And then when you combine the both, I think it's a pretty easy decision.
The Sooners play in Division I of the American Collegiate Hockey Association. The players are not on scholarship, nor do they receive NIL money from the school. So, between that and the late night practices here at the Blazers Ice Center, the reason for playing is quite simple: the love of the game.
I was planning on going a couple of years of playing hockey, but wasn't expecting OU really. But he just convinced me, and I'm having a blast. So.
You know, being able to play hockey again, I've been out of competitive hockey for a year and a half, so being able to do that is always fun.
I originally came to OU just for fun, have a good time, good football, cool school, big university. I actually didn't even bring my gear here. I was a little hesitant because I didn't really think I was going to keep playing hockey so much after juniors. But at the end of the day, I ended up getting my stuff shipped down here and definitely don't regret that.
With the bulk of their roster set to return next year, OU hockey is ready for their 21st season. Ben Dackiw, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ben. The OKC Thunder tipped off against the Clippers for the second time in 3 days on Thursday. The Thunder knocked off the Clippers 101-100 in the first game.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points for the 41st time this season, but the Clippers got the best of the Thundering Storm, beating OKC 127-105.
The Thunder have a big game in the same arena tonight as they play the Lakers in a meaningful game for playoff rankings.
This is the Thunder's third game in 4 days, so fatigue could be an issue for the Thunder. Thanks for watching Big Friday Sports.
Tune in to OU Nightly on Monday for a recap of all of this weekend's action. Good night.